Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Facts and Two Cents. This is Pamela.
And this is Petal.
All right, great. So we are back for another conversation topic, topic conversation. But there's so much has been going on. But before we get into it, let's go back to the same thing we say every time. We are here for our faves, and you know them by now. But if you don't know, well, you will know. It's
I know,
the
right?
goddess of Sussex, Meghan Markle. Then there's Harry, Prince Harry. Then there is King Archie, and then Goddess of Montecito, Lilibet, Diana. Then there's the Godmother, Doria. Then we have Guy and Pula. Somebody said I didn't mention the dogs the other day. It's Guy and Pula, I am. And the chickens, right?
Exactly.
So you have the whole clan. And we always say this, we are not trying to be anything else, but to say we are biased and petty and we own our stuff and don't come for us unless we've sent for you as usual. But thanks so much for joining us and enjoy our Facts and Two Cents. And today's topic is going to be exciting because we knew a lot went on this past week with the Duchess's birthday. So before we get everything going, welcome. And Petal, what do you have to say before we kick it off?
I am so excited. I mean, this was just such a fantastic week. But before we even get into that, so thank you guys so much, all of you who have supported us, who have been commenting, who have it's been incredible just to communicate with so many of you. Thank you so much for those who have asked how they can support us. Just to let you know that we do have a link in our show notes about how you can support us. Again, no obligation. If you want to, it would be most appreciated. But if you check them out, you find a bunch of things in our show notes. We put in all of the links to the articles and all of that stuff that we talk about on the show. So if you want to do some more research, and then also too, we do have PayPal, we have Cash App, and we also have some cool merchandise. You guys, so I think I get a little bit fancy and get some merchandise.
Yes, we have some merch. We have a link in there, merch, and there's a few others too. There's other stuff too, just not a mug. There's t-shirts. There are t-shirts, different types. Well, I think it's only one type of t-shirts, right? And there's like
different types. And,
different types. Yeah.
I'm gonna wear mine the next time we show.
Okay. Yeah. I will get mine as well, so we can wear. But yeah, please feel free to, I was hoping actually we'll have the t-shirts when we post it on YouTube, that, how people have their merchandise showing on YouTube. But
really?
Yeah, if you look at people's YouTube, they have their merchandise showing on their page so that people can see the type of stuff they have and they don't have to go necessarily the link. So check other YouTubers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We're just learning all these things as we go along.
We're figuring it out.
But no, I'm enjoying my mug.
Oh, good. I'm gonna have to get mine. I was actually trying to shop on the site, and I'll finish it anyways. So anyways, before we get going, I've been going to the comments, y'all, and I've been reading your comments. Y'all are hilarious and funny. And kudos to all those fans who are like holding the fork down while we're not on there and just debating people off our page. Appreciate you. Love you. Thank you. But I heard somebody's making a comment about my head wrap. And I just laughed. I was like, girl, you do know there's something called choice in life, right? We have choices. And by the way, truth be told, I use a head wrap because sometimes I just don't want to mess up. I don't want to deal with my hair. I'm having a bad hair day, and I'm like, listen, who wants, just wrap that baby up. And I'm African. Hair wraps are just our thing. You know what I mean? I'm not that good at it, but it is what it is. So thanks for your comment, and thanks for the compliment.
But a lot of people
complimented me, and then you had a
wrap,
little shade. Yes, a lot of people love it.
I love your head wrap, and I'm like, I wish I could wrap my head like that. You see me when I put a head wrap on, it looks like you did not do your hair because your hair is a mess. You need to just hide it. That's how mine looks.
But I think head wraps are just basically, it's the way it's creativity, right? It's however
I
you
don't have
feel.
any.
Yeah. Wait, what if you don't have any? Whatever you do, that's your creativity. You did it. So you're good. I'm just saying the person who was picking up my hair wrap complimented me and gave me a little shade. I was like, girl, I see you. I see you. Okay.
Well, she
Next
just
time.
also too, she just wanted you to know that you are beautiful without it.
Oh, I
I
know.
know. But then
That's
she
what I
shaded
said.
your head rough.
That's what I said. I see I read the compliment. I got it, and then there was a shade. So we shall leave it at that place. But thanks for the compliment. I'll take the compliment. We'll let the shade right away, just like that. We'll just shade it off. Anyways, we are back and we are so excited. This week has been exciting. We were waiting, anticipating. We know there's so much things was going on in preparation for this big day, which was August the 4th. August the 4th is the special day for so many people. But there are two specific people that we know we kind of like every year we remember. One, they're all our faith, but one is the reason why we're here. Really.
Yeah.
So it's the former President Barack Obama.
Our forever president.
Our forever president. Don't hate. It's my president. That's what I said. You can say whatever you want to say, but don't hate. Not even on my channel. You better love President Obama.
We'll just ignore the past 4 years and we'll just,
yes,
that didn't happen.
No, we cannot ignore. That happened, girl. That happened. That was
I just
tough.
want to pretend. Let me pretend, please. I just want
Maybe we could, but that did happen and it was rough.
That's why I want to pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, Lord.
Yeah. Anyway, so so that's our President Obama, and then the one and only goddess Meghan Markle. So she celebrated her big 4-0, and it was the most, I think, most impactful birthday she probably has ever had. With that amazing idea that she came up with, which amazing. The ripple effect, like she envisioned, I don't even think she understands the magnitude. And I'm hoping that somehow we'll have some kind of data to prove it, which actually Tina showed the outreach on LinkedIn on her podcast today. It was 1 point something billion, Rich.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's just on LinkedIn, right? And so imagine globally, everyone and it's still going on. It's not like just on that day, right?
Right. No, I see things all the time on Twitter. People like, if you need someone to mentor you, I mean, it has just been amazing.
Amazing.
The response.
Yeah. So let's start from there. What was your whole, feel and take on that day? Like, I wasn't expecting that anyway. I didn't know, obviously. Nowadays we don't, and I'm glad we don't hear anything. There's no leaks except one from the Shutter Island. From
oh God.
From the Vogue.
We will not speak of Edward Enninful.
Shameful.
Shameful and
shameful. Well, I mean, who is paying you, Edward? Who's paying you?
Anyways.
Something like that. Anyways,
we
yeah,
shall be loving. We shall be kind. Anyways.
Yes.
Just for Meghan.
No bad energy.
Meghan loves you.
Meghan says.
Only
no
because.
bad energy, so you will be kind.
But anyway, I think for me, because I knew that she was gonna do something, whether it's donating, because she's done that before, like donating to a cause, or something in either in LA or Santa Barbara or something. Right. I assume maybe they will go out and do something in the community, but with COVID, it's just so up.
Yeah.
We don't know. So I was more thinking she would donate. I know a lot of the press, especially on Shutter Island, they were thinking, oh, she was gonna post a picture of baby Lily, and I was like, why would Meghan be pimping her child?
Have you guys met Meghan?
I know. I'm like, they only pimp kids on Shutter Island, not in the US. We don't care to see her child. We want child
peeping kids.
But going back to Meghan, so I thought she was going to do something, with charity or something like that anyway. So,
Right.
but I wasn't expecting this. It just, and I love the fact that they could humor themselves. I love the fact that
my highlights is like really on flake. Maybe too much. I was like, sorry, I was like, my highlights is on flake. Like, maybe a little bit too much. But anyways, here we are. Go ahead.
Well, your lips are very red. That's why I felt like you were.
Thank you. So intermission here, go ahead, Petal. Sorry.
But no, I just thought for me, I mean, I wasn't expecting this, and but I love the fact how they just used humor with Melissa McCarthy was the perfect choice to do this with her.
Oh my God!
Melissa is just.
I've always loved Melissa. Speaking of the past 4 years that you do want us to remember, she was one of my highlights in the past 4 years, right? When she was became on SNL, that was like one of the highlights, like one of the silver linings. A few of the silver linings of those past 4 years was Melissa. Yeah. Man, she did an amazing job. She should have gotten an Oscar for that.
Since it's Saturday Night Live, would be Emmy.
Emmy, yeah. No, I know, but I'm saying I feel like she should have gotten an Oscar for that acting. Yeah.
Well, no, I just thought she was like the perfect choice to do this with Meghan because Meghan playing the straight person, and of course Harry in the end. I love Harry. I'm like, can we just? I honestly think Harry needs to get his own show. Harry needs to get like a talk show, a late night talk show or something because he has that energy. He has the humor.
He does.
He does have that personality that will carry that show.
Well, look at the little bit that we had from their podcast. It's just like, when he was trying to make fun, and Meghan had to reel him in quickly when he was making fun of, not making fun, but he was kind of when the point that was, when they hear this by now, I'll be engaged. And then Harry was like, well, if that didn't happen, then if the engagement didn't happen, because the poet who said something about in the very first and only podcast so far, he mentioned that speaking about he's going to be getting engaged to his future fiance. And so by the time we hear this, he would have been engaged. And then Harry was like, well, if that didn't happen, and then Meghan was like, well, let's assume it did happen. Harry would say whatever, and he'd be like, he just speaks his mind.
I think that's so funny with Harry
because
you never know what he will come up with.
Nope.
And he is just very spontaneous, and I think that's the kind of energy that you want in like a talk show or like a late night, because he is very funny.
Yeah, and he goes with the flow.
I just think. Yeah, I just think just seeing Harry outside was just, he was there for like 2 seconds and stole the thing. You know what I mean? I just think, I don't know.
This is not, don't be still in the spotlight from our Duchess right now. But it was so much fun to see. Somebody said on Twitter that the way he moved away from the window, it felt like Archie just snatched him from the leave my mom alone.
It's just, and I love because he came in on the blooper, showing the little bloopers at the end, but it was just so cute, and it made me remember just he is really good at this. Remember the time when he did the what was it, the mental health one with what's the other red-haired guy?
Ed Sheeran.
Ed
Sheeran, yeah.
And that was great. Comedic timing. He has great comedic timing. So I think, but I mean, going back to Meghan and the initiative, it's so Meghan. It's just so perfect. And one thing I love about it is just the embrace that women all over were just so excited to embrace it. It's not just like, oh, Meghan is doing something. It's like, well, of course, I want to help people.
Yeah.
The amount of, professional women and men actually who were so excited to embrace it. And they're not just helping one person. No. They're like One person had like 40 people.
Yeah.
And it's not just helping the mentee.
No.
One lady was talking. She's like, when she put up her thing, she thought one nice person.
Was that a lady on Twitter with a resume, or was it? There was a lady on Twitter who thought she was going to get 1 or 10 people. I think she had like 20 people, and she was just so excited.
She had like 30.
Yeah, she's just like, oh my God.
Like, yeah, she was, because she was suffering the imposter syndrome. And anybody who's a creative know that feeling where they feel like, oh my gosh, I don't belong here. I don't deserve to be called an artist or whatever the field you're in. And so I have that all the time, that imposter syndrome. And so it built her confidence so much. She thought she maybe get one nice person. She was so shocked to see 30 people signed up for her thing, and she was so happy, and it built her confidence. Yeah. And it's like, it's not just helping.
But even that, imagine what the results would be if, someone, I think it was regarding resumes, right? Was it resumes or something? I don't know exactly what it was, I
think she was in crafts or something.
Crafts, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. But even that, imagine somebody learned something and turned that into becoming a business owner, entrepreneur somewhere, and it's through this. And so the ripple effect is not just on that day. The ripple effect is 5 years from now, 2 years from now, a year from now, 10 years from now. You know what I mean? What that one lesson did. It's just the same module she used with the SmartWorks. Outfits is like, okay, you have it. So this is not about charity, right? Charity is about looking into your closet and giving away things you don't want. This is about community where you're like, I wore this and I got this job. I'm no longer looking for a job, but it could help somebody else who will go out there and wear that suit or wear that dress or hold that bag or whatever the case may be, and be like, I got this job because somebody paid it forward, so to speak.
Exactly.
Right? And I think that's the same. That is the foundation of Meghan's existence.
Exactly.
I think it's part of her foundation where she always thinks, how can I make an impact? If she can, then how can people who are like-minded make similar impact? So
exactly,
she is multiplying herself in a way. And that is just duplicated and duplicated and duplicated. Amazing idea.
Absolutely. And even going back to what you were just saying, it's not just her friends. She's like 40 friends, but the organizations that she had, like the YWCA, SmartWorks. She has
I think Girls Inc. I don't know. I think
Girls Inc. Yeah, all of these organizations. And not only that, on the Archwell website, you can go on there and get tips about mentoring. If if the person doesn't know and they want to mentor, but they've never mentored before, there are tips on how to mentor, how to, about relationship building, how to start the mentor. I mean, there are all these different tips there, and there are also different organizations that you can go. And so she has a whole resource on that site. And I know that, especially on Shutter Island, people were like, well, she doesn't even say how to mentor. Not everybody know. I'm like, well, that's because you didn't go on the website to look at the resources that are on.
That is that's so stupid. That's stupid. Really, really dumb. Like, you don't know how to mentor. Then maybe if you don't want to mentor, go and volunteer 40 minutes of your time to a homeless shelter. Do something for 40 minutes to give to society, to impact someone's life. Babysit. Go and do, your elderly neighbor's laundery. Do something, right?
And that's
a form of giving back.
Like they just wanted to criticize. And, another person was like, well, what are you going to do in 40 minutes? 40 minutes. Not. I'm like, you don't understand. 5 minutes of your time could change somebody's life.
Well, because whoever said that doesn't have anything to offer. I'm sorry. I know this is being mean, but that person who said it has nothing to offer. So they don't know what 5 minutes means to just listen to somebody or give somebody just 5 minutes of an advice. That can change someone's whole life. So if that person feels like 40 minutes can't do anything, then maybe they don't really have anything to offer.
That's part of it. I mean, part of it is they just wanted to criticize and pull down Meghan. But
Yeah.
it's, but again, it's like there are so many resources on the site. There's so many things, ideas of mentoring. And even, and as Pam just said, I mean, even if it's not a situation where you're mentoring, you can go back and give back to your community.
Yeah.
One of the wonderful things, and what I love about Meghan and how she and Harry work is that they build community. Even though I'm really down on, Edward Enninful right now because he's the one that leaked it. He's actually, before Meghan guest edited Vogue, she was reaching out to him to see how Vogue can be a part or maybe do an article or something on SmartWorks. And that's how that relationship built to where she guest edited Vogue. And in Vogue, there's also a part in that Vogue article, there's also a part where, they did a thing on SmartWorks. Yeah. And so Edward Enninful, even though I'm like still, he's in my doghouse, he is actually pledging his time. That's the community. We are down on Edward, but he is volunteering to his time.
I know there are allies who are still not completely sold to being allies. They are performative allies. Okay, we have performative allies. So I don't know. I'm just saying.
I know he's in my doghouse too, but in spite of that, he is helping people that needs help, and he does have contact.
Yeah, in spite of helping, he's still performative.
Misa and Harriman, who took the pregnancy photo with her and Harry laying in the backyard under the tree. He is also volunteered. Her friend, I forgot his name, who's a makeup artist who did her makeup for her. He's also volunteering. Daniel. Yes. Yeah. He is volunteering his. So it's so good to see all of her friends. Some of them I'm sure they weren't on social media in those days, so I'm sure they're part of it as well. But that list, oh my goodness.
I know, let's talk about the list. So I have, when you go on Facebook and you go to hashtag 40by40, right? You'll see a whole list of people. And, you can do the latest or you can do the top. I'm on the top. The top says Kerry Washington. Happy birthday to this beautiful queen, Meghan Markle, on her 40th birthday. I'll be joining the Duchess of Sussex by donating 40 minutes of service to grassroots organizers and organizations on the ground, fighting for change, fighting for our democracy, fighting for our rights and our voices to be heard as we re-enter into the workforce and the new election season. That's her. And she has a picture of herself with Meghan that she took, that they had years ago. Remember that. Yeah. Yes. And then Duchess of Sussex. I think this might be a Sussex Squad person, I believe so. So Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, has received an overwhelming amount of love and support on her occasion of her 40th birthday. And then there's Girls Inc.
Yeah.
So Girls Inc. has the little clip in there, and it says, "We are thrilled to support Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, on her 40th birthday by donating 40 minutes of our services to helping girls recognize their potential and strive for their goals. If you can, please join us and commit 40 minutes to community service or mentorship. Together, we can contribute to a global wave of compassion and positive change." And then, so there's a few more here. So Her Source, HER Source, one word, also said, "Women help women, that's what it's all about." And then they reposted Gabrielle Union, saying, she had a t-shirt on and how she said, "My friend, Meghan," how they were friends, before. Yeah, so he mentioned that and how she's in support of that. Steph Curry, happy birthday to Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, to celebrate her 40th birthday. Join Aisha Curry and me in dedicating 40 minutes of your time to mentoring and community service, honoring those women who give everything. Now, Steph Curry's wife, Aisha, is an amazing cook. So, and she has a lot of books out there. So, P Flag National. Oh, so happy 40th to Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, and friend of P Flag. She's a friend of the company. So we love what she's doing in honor of her birthday, encouraging us all to pay it forward with one of our most essential gifts, time. What if we all gave 40 minutes of service? That is amazing. And the list goes on and on. And then Tessie Ojo, who is
from the Diana Awards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she says, today I am pledging 40 minutes of service to mentoring through the Diana Award. Please join me and commit 40 minutes to community service or mentorship. Together, we can contribute to a global wave of compassion and positive change. And I'm telling you, this goes on. The YMCA, USA, the president.
Yes, the YWCA.
YWCA rather. Yes. He said, shout out to Meghan Markle, hashtag Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, who turns 40 today. To celebrate, we are joining her in encouraging women everywhere to commit 40 minutes of your time to community service or mentorship to women re-entering the workforce. Because empowered women empower women. And that's what she said. And I was like, wow.
And it's so amazing to see, like, one of the people that actually they sent a shout out to Meghan for happy birthday was the UN Women. And it's so funny because this is the same organization that Robert Lacey claimed that Meghan didn't go to an event in Fiji because she had this problem with the UN Women. And it was so wild to see them shouting out Meghan and thanking her for supporting women. And I'm like,
look at that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm like, that's interesting. According to Robert Lacey's book, that Meghan had, and here they are shouting out to Meghan.
Yes. Technology Ireland Digital Skillnet in Ireland also decided to get on. Lean in, Cheryl from Cheryl, whatever her name is from Facebook, Cheryl.
Cheryl Stenberg. Yeah, she actually leads Facebook. She is. She's doing it. Deepak Chopra is doing it. Mom Rising, the organization that Meghan has been donating to.
These things just warms your heart. And not only celebrities, but also those like a lot of squatties who did an amazing job. Tanisha, I have to shout out friend Tanisha on Twitter. What's her handle again? She always pops up in my handle. Here we go. She was always on my Tanisha the goddess. So she volunteered, and she was actually appeared in her post was copied and it came in a publication. Someone wrote about it where she volunteered to give 4 women 40 minutes headshots, right? And and then somebody mentioned that someone wrote about it, some newspaper organization wrote about it as well. So there's so many squatties were doing that is just amazing. Everybody was contributing, and I'm so touched. I was just like, wow, whatever it takes.
Yeah, and the thing is, it felt like people were just craving that kind of community. I mean, it's just the joy with which people were embracing this. Even news anchors and or
Gail Keane was talking about it.
And we thought, I mean, it was such a joy to be able to just give.
Yeah.
After the last few years of being by yourself, I mean, it just like the joy for me with which people embrace it is a thing that was just like, wow. It was like people were just like, thank you. I have an opportunity to connect with people. I have an opportunity to give and to receive and to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Apart from my family who I've seen every day for the last year and a half. I
love them,
reach out from my circle and reach out to different people. And I feel like there was such a craving. And so I feel like it just came at the perfect time.
Yeah.
When people just needed to be able to reach out to each other.
It really did. Yeah. And it's like there was nothing you could say. The people, they still went, Shutter Island still has negative things to say. Like, is it the Mail or that's one of those magazines had about 50 articles within less than 10 hours on the whole thing.
I think someone posted the Express that had about 50, and then the Mail had about, I don't know, around 20, I guess.
And I was like, what exactly about what that 2.5 or 2 minutes or whatever clip gives you 50 articles to write if you're not craving and deprived of information? You know what I mean? For you to be able to make something up, because that 2 minutes and a half or 2 minutes or whatever and 30 seconds clip didn't have anything much in there for you to write 50 articles. To the point where they had to write about Guy. Oh, Guy, one of the titles, Guy was so bored. And I was like, see, if you have to go that low, then seriously, you are deprived. You really want to be relevant. It's not them. You are a dying species and you want to be relevant so much so you attach yourself to whatever it is that they do. Like Guy's minding his own business, sitting on a little comfy little, bed or cushion that he's laying on, minding his own business. You had to write an article about a dog. Think about it. That just amazes me.
I think, talk about Guy, that brings me back to, I saw someone had posted a screenshot of, I guess it's the Mail, where they had red marks for every single thing Meghan had in the room. I'm looking at that room.
Yes.
I'm looking at that room, and all I saw, this is what I saw. I look at the room and I saw a big table with a bunch of books, a computer and a bunch of books, a chair, a blanket on a chair, which, by the way, I had no idea how people knew that was Hermes. I saw the thing had H. I just thought it meant Harry.
Harry.
I was like, oh my gosh, Petal, you have no idea about designer things.
I honestly didn't. I didn't know, to be honest with you. I saw H, I thought, oh, because, this is what I thought. They obviously stood together, right? And they worked together. So I was like, oh, maybe she's sitting on her own, which says M, and the H is Harry. That is what I was thinking. Obviously, have professionals, interior designers who just picked it up right away, like, this is a mess. And I was like, okay.
You know why I thought it was Harry too? Because I remember in the You Can't See, in the trailer, you see Harry sitting on his computer, and Meghan come behind him and they're looking at and smiling at the computer. So, and it always looked like Harry's chair was closer to the wall.
Yeah.
And so when I saw the H, I'm like, yeah, that's Harry's chair. And so that's what I saw. I just saw that, and I saw a dog and a pillow. And I and then there was the fireplace in the back, and I wasn't even paying that much attention. And a plant in a window. That's
also people were like mad because there's like, why is all those books? I'm like, are you crazy? Yes, these are her books. I'm selling my books. People are still buying her books. Why shouldn't she promote her books?
To stack up your computer and a whole bunch of books.
Yeah, how
it's just like the most normal thing in the world.
You should see my computer right now and the things that is on. Any movement and everything will fall. Okay, and I don't even have books to sell. Okay, I mean, seriously, there's boxes and it's still not even right, as you can see. I don't know if you can see. I'm just telling y'all. So it's like, listen, that is the way to do it. I mean, she's not in the studio. If you're in your apartment and when you pile up books and you get to where the camera is facing you, mine is not even facing me right now, but anyways.
Well, it's so funny how they went through and detailed all of these things, and then having asked some people in Shutter Island had an issue with it being so rich. And I'm thinking, there's no people in England with a room with a table and a stack of books and a chair and a window and a plant.
They speak poverty into their lives, really.
They do.
They really don't aspire much because they don't really think, maybe they haven't seen much, and I can't blame them. If you haven't seen much, then, listen, there are places in the UK that if you go, or England, that are like very, very wealthy. Maybe they're not as common, but in America, that's living room,
normal looking living room,
for somebody who's well up to do. Anyone who is well up to do and own a house, and the well up to do, and I'm saying well off to do, that means they're like, makes good amount of money, which a lot of Americans do.
That's just a normal house.
It's a normal house.
I'm like, what? I cannot believe the people going off. And I'm thinking.
And then people who have apartments and don't have that much money, but they can decorate their apartment. Their apartment looks plush.
I know.
I don't know
I'm
What are you
assuming it's
talking
their,
about?
their office. It's just so minimalist.
It's
Is just
really
like it's completely minimalist. I'm thinking,
very.
look, if you have a problem with that, then
Let's talk about the royal family.
let's talk about the royal family and their wealth. You know,
And we shall.
you remember that room with the Queen with
The gold piano.
the gold piano at Buckingham Palace?
Yeah. Well,
So
you know
how are
what?
you
We can
going
sell that gold piano and save a whole country. Better yet, feed all the hungry kids in the UK so that way the UN doesn't have to come and feed them.
Exactly. UNICEF don't have to come in.
UNICEF
I
doesn't
mean,
come in.
these people on Shutter Island bowing down to a queen with a gold piano and everything around her is gold and have no awareness of the fact that she's talking to peasants who have nothing. And she's sitting there talking, and they have no problem with this. And it's like, she's at Buckingham Palace. How many rooms, you know, and these are the same people that are talking about, oh, you know, Harry and Meghan's home in Montecito have 14 rooms and or 9 bathrooms or 40, whatever it is. I'm sorry. Buckingham Palace have 775 rooms.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which was is estimated now 7 billion.
Where the Queen is right now, at where she's been the last year. Well, actually, she's now at Balmoral.
She's Balmoral
vacation, but where she's been at Windsor Castle for like the 2.5 years of COVID, and that's where her favorite weekend used to be her weekend home. Windsor Castle has 1,000 rooms.
Yep. And you know how? And let me tell you.
And Windsor Castle, with its 1,000 rooms, it has 300 fireplaces. You have no right to be talking about Meghan's one fireplace. Exactly. Where the Queen is right now, her vacation home in Balmoral, Scotland. There's a whopping 52 bedrooms at Balmoral. 52. And you know what? Balmoral also sits on a 50,000 acre land. The Queen owns the most land in all of the UK. Her family owns most of the land. Balmoral alone is sitting on 50,000 acres of land. You have no right to be talking about Harry and Meghan's property when you have your vacation home is 50,000 acres.
Yeah, absolutely. Balmoral Castle, and it's right now worth 193 million, right? Wow. It's amazing, right? And the Queen heads to Scotland to enjoy a few weeks off, just a few weeks in that place. Not like she's living there, like she only goes there for a few weeks.
Holyrood House, where the Queen and William, you remember they just were in Scotland recently trying to bribe the Scottish people to not go away from the They were staying at Holyrood Palace. You know how many rooms in there? There are 289 rooms there. Wow. 289 rooms. And it covers 87,120 square feet. That is how big Holyrood House. That's where they were staying in Scotland when they were trying to bribe those Scottish people. Yeah.
And then it says Kensington Palace, where Will and his wife live, has 20 rooms. They have 20 rooms that they have to themselves. 20 rooms. And I don't think it's counted the bathroom.
4-story apartment. Their apartment is 4 stories with 20 rooms.
It's 20 rooms, and that Kensington Palace was built in 1605, right? And it's worth an estimated $830 million. So that's just to say, and that's not even including, obviously. I'm sure that probably includes. I don't think it's including the people that work there and paying them and maintaining all that. But you're right. They have a 20-room apartment A in London.
And just to add with that is when they had moved, they were living in the country and moved back to moved back to London when George was born, and they, started to work for the royal family. They were living at that little cottage that Harry was living, and in order to move into apartment 1A, they undertook a $4.5 million renovation of apartment 1A before they moved in. Yeah. And imagine Harry and Meghan redid a whole house for only $2.4 million, and the press went after them.
Yeah.
And
for a gift. Gift it was a gift to them. So
which they paid back.
Yeah. And but then they also fixed the pavement.
Pavement, exactly. When they were attacking Harry and Meghan, $1 million to do the driveway at Kensington Palace, and nobody went after them. Not only do they live there, they also live at Armour Hall, which is where they spend most of their vacation, which is where they are now. Where Kate and William, that's their weekend home. Armour Hall is a 10-bedroom Georgian home that was gifted to William and Kate by the Queen. 10 bedrooms.
Yeah, Sandringham House, which was built in 1870, and is one of the newer royal homes. They said, and is located on a 20,000-acre estate. And they put it there, perfect for horse riding and hunting. The home is worth an estimated $220 million. None of these homes is like 14 million, okay, so far, right? We haven't come, everything is like in the hundreds. And then we have Clarence House. Clarence House was built in 1827. Actually, the Queen used to live there in this Westminster home. And then Charles took over later on down the line. But this is worth 105 million, and that's supposed to be, one of the cheapest homes. And these castles and palaces have lots of people that work there, that they pay for, people who clean, people who fix stuff, and all of that goes to the taxpayer, right? So British people, you're paying for this, and you don't even get to complain about that, but you want to complain about somebody who's working and paying for his and her own house. By the way,
go ahead. Look at Prince Andrew's house, the Royal Lodge. The Royal Lodge has 30 rooms. It's a 30-room home. Accused pedo live in a 30-room home. It has 30 rooms. It has staff accommodations, gardens. It has a private chapel and 21 acres of secluded grounds. That is what
he needs a lot of prayer.
Chapel. 30 rooms. That's where accused pedophile Prince Andrew lives, and Sarah, who claims she's a guest of, and she's been, the longest running guest.
Yeah.
And also talk about Bagshot Park, where the Duke and where Prince Edward and Sophie Fiesta.
Fiesta.
Park.
Ford Fiesta.
Fiesta. 57 rooms. Why does a family of 4 need 57 rooms? Bagshot Park is a 57-room. It is set on 87 acres of tree-filled Crown Estate land, the biggest private residence in any of the Queen's children. Why? What does Prince Edward do exactly?
I don't know.
Why does he have a 57-room house?
I honestly don't know what he's contributed to the British people society.
I don't either.
Like, I don't know what his contribution is. Aside from being the Queen's last child, what has he done? He didn't even go. He's training into the military. He quit. He didn't complete it. What does he do? Like, on a day-to-day basis, at least, Ford Fiesta does, her so-called engagement, patronages. Oh, but I don't know what what Edward does, really.
And then there is Gatco.
Mm. And see, the list goes on. All these properties,
yeah.
it just goes on. The royal family owns England.
Yep. They own the most land in England. They basically,
even UK.
They own the majority of the land in England. You know, Highgrove, which is one of Prince Charles's favorite places, I guess. You know, Princess Diana talked a lot about it, but didn't really care about it because that's why he spent a lot of time with Camilla. Prince Charles has a bunch of these homes, and Highgrove is one of the popular ones. It's 9 bedrooms, you know, 4 reception rooms, 8 bathrooms, a nursery wing. And, you know, it has staff accommodation, stables, parklands, and the home is on nearly 350 acres.
Wow.
I mean, it's when you, so if you're going to be talking about Harry and Meghan's little property in Montecito.
Live in Montecito with neighbors all around them.
How do you explain all of this? If you're okay with all of this, then you have no grounds to stand on to come at Harry and Meghan about your property.
You don't. So you British media and all those of you who want to go in on Harry and Meghan, why aren't you using the same energy in asking these questions about your own royal people who are using your money, right? Because Harry and Meghan aren't using your money. They're using their own money to maintain themselves and take care of themselves. They're no longer using your money. So you're still paying to a family that is doing nothing to help you. There are kids in the country who are hungry. I'm not saying it's not happening in America. There are kids who are growing or starving in the US as well. But we're not paying President Biden $60-something million. You know what I mean? We're not. He's never going to get that. That's for sure, right? But you're paying an old lady that much money who is not moving around like she used to, and her kids, most of them are not moving around except Charles and William, and even that 2020 they didn't go anywhere really. That should cost more than maybe $5,000 or $10,000 the most if you want to even give it a price tag.
And even when they went, nobody asked them to come. Like that stupid COVID choo-choo tour that nobody asked for.
Wait, say that again.
The COVID choo-choo tour. Nobody asked for you.
Stupid COVID choo-choo.
Didn't want you. Ireland said that they told you, you know, Scotland said they told you not to come. Ireland was like, why are you here? Nobody asked you to come.
No, they want a means to spend the money. They want a means to create a track so they can spend the money, take the money, and be like, oh, we went, you know, and did this. But what they don't realize is that if the UK people truly want to know, they should track the money. If they track the money, they'll find where the money was.
They need to track the money. But you know, the thing with even this though, you know, we went through all, you know, listing all of the, you know, the houses and all of that. The bottom line for this isn't about the money.
No.
It's not about it.
Yeah,
is that a black person
yes.
Is that a black person has money. And that is the whole issue here.
Yeah.
If a white person, if Harry was married to a white person and they were living on, you know, high end the hog in Montecito, we wouldn't have all this big thing about their money, about, you know, their property. There wouldn't.
Yeah.
This is about white people, racist white people in the pockets of black people counting their money. They did the same thing to Barack Obama. Well, I remember when Barack Obama, president, or, you know, forever president, when he first left office, and it was revealed that he was getting $400,000 for speaking gigs. For
engagement,
Yeah, for engagement. There was this whole hub of like, oh my goodness. How could he take $400,000? Even Elizabeth Warren was like, well, I'm very concerned about that. You know, that, you know, it's going to cloud his or muddy his view on Wall Street. And there were all these articles about
they didn't say that for Bill Clinton. They didn't say that for Hillary Clinton.
Exactly. They didn't say that for George Bush.
George Bush actually think got charged more.
Millions of dollars for when they did their books. Nobody said a word. No, but all of a sudden a black man was getting money, and all of a sudden he's supposed to be the moral standard for the country.
But
I'm like, y'all didn't try
Pedal,
morality.
look, you even look at Elizabeth Warren, who I love and is supposedly an ally, right? Which she is. Even her, look at her. She was not comfortable with that idea.
No,
that, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Even an allies can be performative, and I'm not saying Elizabeth is performative. I'm saying that is so true.
Exactly. Because the problem is they are, no matter ally or not, the idea of black people getting money does not sit right with white people. We are always the one that's supposed to be begging them for money.
Mm-hmm.
They don't mind, you know, giving out charity. They don't mind because it makes them
and
feel
claiming
that
back in their taxes.
But when a black person has money, all of a sudden they're equal or they're better. And they don't, because of white supremacy, they want to be supreme. We also always supposed to be the one begging. So when a black person is making money, all of a sudden, well, what about your morals? What about this? Oh my goodness.
Your morals.
You're making that much money.
Is there morals to be poor?
You didn't try morality's argument on Bill Clinton when he's taking how many millions for his book. But you didn't try that on
your morals on being poor.
But that's the thing. They always throw that. You know, it's the same thing with Meghan. How could she be talking about women going back to work when she's sitting in her $14 million Montecito house in her fabulous? How could she be telling people that? It's the same argument. Yeah. And it's even deeper than that. Because when you go back in time, say 1921, to Black Wall Street, when they burnt Black Wall Street, is the same thing. Yeah. Yes, they thought, you know, but the overriding reason why they burnt and killed people and destroyed that whole community was jealousy. Because all of a sudden there was a community that didn't need them, a Black community that was thriving. They had their own banks, their own schools, they were talking about even 6 people in that, they had like one airport, whatever. 6 people in that community had their own airplanes. This Black community was thriving. They did not need the white community. And what did the white community do? They burnt it, killed people.
Well, that's what mediocre does, right? Mediocre will always try to bring down people who are pulling, themselves by their own bootstrings. So when they say Black people sometimes people say, oh, you have to pull, Black people are not pulling themselves up their own boots. Well, we did, and we do, right? But if you have
took away the bootstrings, so there ain't no bootstrings to be pulling up. You burnt it.
You took the bootstrings away, and then you cut, and then you took the sole of the boots off too. So
there ain't really no boots, is there? When you burn the whole community, and this is where it goes back to. It's the racism. It seems like just like, oh, they're just complaining about Meghan's house out there. No. This is a race.
Deeper than that.
Goes right back to race.
Yeah. And if you don't know what, the signals, you think it's just, it's just a flimsy conversation or comparison, or it's not. It's a code. It's a code word. And it is really, it's deep into racism. It's deep into white supremacy, where they always feel like Black people or people of color are always inferior to them. So because of that image in their mind, when they see a Black person, a person of color who rises up, and pulls his or her own bootstring and makes it, then it's like, no, how could he or she have done that? Who helped him or her? How did she get there? It's because she's married to a prince. No.
Meghan was a millionaire before. She's the only self-made millionaire in the royal family. The rest of them inherited their money.
And the most educated, excuse you, the most educated, So it's like, don't even try it, like someone would say, shut the front door, because you have no idea what she had to do. When her car was broken and she has to go through the trunk of her car to go for audition.
Pulled herself up and get her own career. She's the only person who actually has a career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the very idea that Meghan literally had to take a step down to become a part of the royal family. That's why Harry was like, oh, I need to up my game. Harry was the only one who got it. He's the
Yeah.
only one who
Yeah.
understood that Meghan had to take a step down to be in your royal family. You're in all that.
Yeah.
Why?
No.
Because
No.
all that the royal family has, they stole, pillaged, and raped an entire continent and stole their stuff.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So don't
Bring
you
it back, by the way. Send it back. You
Oh.
know, France is sending back all the things they stole from is it Benin or Togo. They're sending it back to, I don't know why they're sending it back to Nigeria. But anyways, France is sending it back. And I believe Belgium is supposed to send theirs back too. So UK,
It's time
British,
for England
send
to
it
own
back.
up and
Yeah,
send
take
back
all the
stuff.
jewels from the
Stuff is
crown
from
that
the
your
crown.
queen wears,
Exactly.
and plug all of them, like take
And
a
send
tweezer
them back to
and
where they
plug
belong.
all of them out, put them in a calabash, and send them back to our ancestors back home. We want our stuff back. Our ancestors will not rest until every diamond and every gold and every gem is sent back. That's a lesson for Africans too. We need to learn from this, because they're still trying to do it anyways. If it's not the British, it's the China.
Remember that? I'm telling
China.
you. Remember that they found that big diamond the other day. I remember tweeting. I'm like, y'all better hide that from those British people, because they're gonna come steal from you and then convince you that you gave it to them. You know that they're gonna do it.
Yep. And promise you, we will send aid to help a little village. And you're like, no, that gold, that diamond can buy pretty much the whole world.
I know. You all better hide that from the lock and key and ban British people from your country.
Not only white British people, a whole lot out there too. But anyway. Absolutely, yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's a very hot topic for us.
But you know, and I was just reading recently, and I didn't know that Lake Lanier, that lake that's out there that always is claiming lives, and everyone says it's haunted. I didn't know, I read it recently, that underneath that lake is a Black community that was destroyed in the way that the Greenwood community was destroyed. That they burned it down, killed people, and flooded that lake. And flooded it, and that's how it became. And this lake is now, every time, for some reason, people are always dying at Lake Lanier. Yeah. And so they said that it's haunted, which, again, there are souls buried under there.
Yeah.
And so again, you see which is also too horrendous, because no reparations have been paid to the families of the people whose property was burnt because of jealousy, because of racism, because white people could not deal with the fact that Black people can literally pull themselves up with no bootstrings, that Black people can actually survive and prosper and thrive without them.
Right.
And every time we do it, you see, and it's the same thing with Meghan. Every time Meghan do a project, every time she has a successful project, you always see somebody in the British press with, first when she did the Smart Works, they tried to give credit to Kensington Karen, Kate Middleton, that they have to thank her, that Meghan has to thank her for the success of Smart Works. Like, excuse me? It's the same thing. Every time Meghan does a project, they either have tried to destroy it, tried to discredit it, tried to whatever, whether it's Camilla Tominey calling her, project at the Hub community. Attaching that to terrorists,
She's
and it's
she's
the
a mess.
same thing every time she does a project. Especially white women, find a way to try to discredit it or parage it in some way, any way to bring her. Come back to just Meghan and then the riches. It's just, it is so easy to just focus on what the stuff that she has and all of that stuff, and not realizing where that backlash, where that hatred is coming from. And some people don't, some white people may not even realize their biases.
They might not even realize it. But here's the thing, what people don't realize, there are YouTubers who are probably going to make more money than Harry and Meghan.
Oh gosh, totally.
There are TikTok, what do you call them? TikTokers who are making millions, right? And they live in bougie UK. Follow people on YouTube and see their house. All these YouTubers, follow them. Those with million subscribers, follow them and see. Now, some of them might not be true, but most of them have amazing homes because it's part of the lifestyle. Then they're young.
The thing with that too is this: a lot of them believe, and which is like, I don't understand how you as an adult and seemingly an intelligent person could believe the nonsense of the tabloid press. But a lot of them bought into the notion that Harry and Meghan are going to come to the US, they're going to live on the streets and be eating at McDonald's and come back begging. And that is the same stupid mentality that they have, that if you walk away from the royal family, you can't make it on your own. And I think that came from Edward, who abdicated him, and what's her name?
And married
what's her name? Yeah, that they abdicated, but they were always funded. They were still funded. There was a time where Edward even went back and said, we're not making enough money. We want more money, and they gave it to them. Mm-hmm. So they assumed that Meghan and Harry would still be dependent on the royal family. So they had this notion that they couldn't survive without money from the royal family. And now
I can see that now.
For the first time.
I can see that.
People can't survive in America. We don't need you. They don't need you. And so the fact is, they didn't expect. They were really shocked. That they can thrive away from the royal family.
The point is, the fact that they're still stuck in that era.
Oh my goodness.
To think that all that time nothing has changed, that people will still leave and still wonder. That is shocking, people. Like, just think about it. If this logic, which makes so much sense to me, they're thinking, oh, here's the blueprint. Edward left with his American wife.
Yeah, Wallis Simpson. Yeah,
Wallis Simpson, and couldn't take care of themselves. That was then. But they're still thinking Harry and Meghan, an educated woman who, by the way, came in as a millionaire, will leave and wouldn't know how to maintain her money and build it up.
And that's the thing. They are again brought in the nonsense notion of their tabloids that Harry is stupid. He doesn't, he can't take care of himself. That whole notion, that whole narrative of the despair that he's some dunce. That is the mentality that they have.
If Harry and Meghan were ever to go, which will, I don't see it happen. Ever to go to McDonald's, they'll be the most famous working for Hales McDonald, and they will make a lot of money working in McDonald's. So listen, wherever they land, they will do amazing because they take themselves with them, right? Wherever they go, they take their genuine, authentic, hardworking selves with them. So they will make an impact wherever they are. They are not lazy. It doesn't take them 10 years to come up with 5 questions, right? They're trying to set up initiatives, come up with ideas, and just like creative ideas and how to make society and the world better. And this goodness always follows them. So if you're evil and you hate and you're jealous, it will take you 10 years to come up with 5 questions.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's kind of like they don't have vision. These are people that they have no vision. They're living
without vision. The people perish. The good book says. It's
like they're living in this echo chamber of mediocrity, which is what they praise all the time. That's all they see. They can't see beyond their vile, mediocre behavior, and it's like they spew it back and forth at each other, and that's all they can see. And then they look and they see the royal family, and that's why I think the royal family is such a big deal to them, because now they're angry at Meghan because it's not a big deal to her. I mean, because literally Meghan had to take a step down to be in the royal family because they're not all that.
Exactly.
They're not educated. They're lazy, uneducated grifters, and she had to take a step down to be a part of that family.
Meghan had to work her way up, okay? Like I was saying earlier, when she had to go through the trunk of her car to go to auditions, that's how she entered her car, because her car was so broken, right? So she learned the hard way how to really appreciate work ethics, right? And got herself to a place where she was like, the most educated person in that family, and came in as a millionaire. She didn't have to steal money from anybody.
The only self-made millionaire in the royal family is Meghan Markle.
She didn't have to go to a continent and like confiscate and colonize and steal their gold and diamond and anything of that nature to be rich. She didn't have to do any of that, right? And so, like like you said before, another time ago, you said, if anyone owns the right to wearing any of the jewels in the British family, it's Meghan Markle.
It's
Because my lineage. But again, Black people doing something and people feel like they don't deserve to have it. They don't think, and then it makes Black people feel like maybe I don't deserve to have it in some cases, right? So it's interesting. I think you were even, a while ago mentioned about Trevor Noah.
The thing that got me really thinking in terms of Barack Obama is what was Trevor Noah. Yeah. When all that hubbub was going on about, Obama should turn down that $400,000. Trevor Noah was the one that was like, oh no, nobody complained when Bush was taking money. Nobody complained when Clintons were taking money. Nobody complained. People only complain because a Black man all of a sudden is getting $400,000. You're complaining. And Trevor Noah was like, no, you take that money. You take that money. You make that money. And that was the thing that really got me, to sit up and really look at myself and the way how I think, because I also feel and felt like, well, maybe I don't deserve that much money. And I always felt like a little embarrassed that whether it's asking for a raise or asking for more money, I would always lowball myself because I just didn't have the confidence. And I always felt like, we're not supposed to have money. We're not supposed to be rich. I would be also even feel ashamed or feel embarrassed to even go to a restaurant that looks a little high class. I would always avoid it and go to the restaurant, you know what I mean? Even stuff like that, where I just didn't feel like I was good enough, and to see how stuff like that plays on us and it definitely played on me as a Black woman. And that was the thing that really got, when hearing Trevor Noah was like, no, you go for it. That was the thing that really got me to start thinking like, you know what? No, I'm worth it. We should not be afraid to say, yes, no, I'm worth $500,000. You pay me my money, And I think that mentality, I think that prejudice from that comes at us, all of a sudden we take that on, and I know I did, and we start feeling like imposters when we are doing great, but then still feel like, oh well, maybe I'm not worth that amount. White people don't have that. White people don't have talent. Are out there saying, pay me my money. So
I don't have that. That's crazy. I have it to some extent. I think for me, when it comes to work, that I'm able to negotiate that, because I think the mentality for me is that if I feel like the person has it, then I feel comfortable in asking for it, right? So when it comes to work, I will be like, find a way to get it. And I don't find myself not wanting to go to a nice restaurant. No, I'll go because I feel like, oh yeah, I'm so deserving. Where I find what you're saying, but I feel like I'm imposing myself on imposter syndrome to that extent is when, let's say, even for us as having a YouTube, right, and asking our followers, hey, we have Cash app and PayPal and all that stuff, and if you want to contribute, please feel free. It's not an obligation. For me, that's where that challenge comes in for me, right? So I feel like, who am I to ask these people? Like, they're watching the show. That's, in my mind, that's good enough, right? But if our viewers want to bless us or care about it, want to encourage us, then it's part of maturity. Is like, oh, thank you, and I'm receiving it, right?
Right.
And I think that's something that I need to grow in. I think for me, that's where I need to be okay with that. And not feel like,
money is hard.
But we get it. I'm sure our viewers understand what we're talking about. That we're not a monolith, right? We have different feelings, different people, different feelings, and different takes. But somehow along the line, it can sit in one way or the other, and it's okay to acknowledge it and be like, okay, I get it, I see it. And what do I do about it? Because
you see these kids and they have maybe a tenth of the talent a Black person has, and they're making millions. And while we are
Black talents,
you see like those YouTube choreographers who quit putting their
TikTok.
I'm sorry, TikTok choreographers who were like, they went on strike because they would be putting out this wonderful thing, not making any money. The white ones would come out to do the, you know, the 99 cent version of it.
A flimsy version of it, and then make millions.
Millions, and going on national TV with their product, doing, you know, the 99 cents version of their $1 million product, and making money off of it. And it's just like, you know what? They don't have shame to do it. Why should we? You know?
There you go. Well, thank you so much. So we are glad that you guys joined us today, and our conversation was a very passionate conversation. We had a lot to say, but I hope you enjoyed it. It was we gave you all our 2 cents and added the facts to it. Well, actually, we gave you the facts and added our 2 cents to it. So hopefully you enjoyed it, and we look forward to chatting with you guys again real soon.
And we just want to say again, happy birthday, Meghan.
Again, happy birthday.
Wonderful.
Don't forget, hashtag 40by40. Don't forget, it's still going on, and make a difference in your community as much as you can. So until then, until next time, ciao.
See you. Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. Yes, absolutely. And we'll see you soon. Bye.